Who dat, everybody? Saints fall to 2-10. Fall to the Dolphins 21-17 in maybe the most unorthodox way you can get to 21-17. That was a weird game. And the Saints have also been eliminated from playoff contention. But at 2-10, if anybody had, or even at 2-9, if anybody had playoffs on their mind, unfortunately, you're probably misguided. Some of the positives from yesterday, and despite the loss and the record, there are some positives that are coming from this season. Sorry about that. Cam Jordan continues to do his thing. 6.5 sacks so far this year. Oh my God, I am pretty popular. 6.5 sacks. I love watching the Cam totals go up, and then all the bonuses that he's hitting every time he gets another sack. Fantastic for him. Devon Vele had himself a game. The trade that they made to get him, I've been shaking my head, I'll admit, for a while now. And the fact that they not only used him, but almost kind of featured him, and he stepped up, caught every pass that was sent to him, 8 passes, 93 yards. He had the touchdown. He had the recovery of the onside kick. So Devon Vele had a hell of a game. Kool-Aid McKinstry, another guy with a great game. The interception right after Shuck threw his interception, which kind of completely took that momentum, flipped it back to the Saints' favor. And then that 4th down stop to give the Saints a chance to win that game at the end. Big day for Kool-Aid. Charlie Smith, his 56-yard field goal, which could have been good from 65, 70. I mean, that thing hit the net high on a 56-yard field goal. And then also his half of the onside kick success. The fact that we were able to make second half adjustments, which hasn't really seemed like as much of an issue as some of the other things. It seems like we're okay at making adjustments at halftime. The big issue is obviously we're getting behind the 8 ball in the first half, specifically in the first quarter, game after game after game. It's like we don't realize who we're going to play until halftime, and then it's like, all right, let's play them the way we should be playing them. So that's definitely a bit of an issue, and that comes down to coaching, but we'll get to that. And then the last thing is the defense. The defense played pretty well. Defense played good enough to win, as they have in a lot of the games recently. The defense is not the issue here, and that brings us to some of the some of the negatives. And I'll start with the coach. Yeah, for somebody who is an offensive-minded coach and called an offensive genius or whatever it might be, the fact that the offense is struggling, I understand that we don't have a lot of the horses that we had at the beginning of the season when Spencer Rattler was the quarterback, but we had a lot of the same issues when Spencer Rattler was the quarterback. So I don't think it's a personnel thing as much as a coaching and strategy thing. So that's probably my biggest takeaways, that we continue to have these issues. Pre-snap penalties, not as bad, not as egregious as they were at the beginning of the season, but still an issue. I mean, you got that 2-point conversion and basically shot yourself in the foot at the end of the game trying to tie the game up. And then Tyler Shuck throws that pick 2 at the end of that debacle to kind of put it out of reach with a field goal at the end of the game. Honestly, I don't even blame Shuck on that one. You've got to throw the ball. You've got to do something because you need those 2 points to tie it. So might as well go for it. I don't like the fact that it was returned for a 2-point conversion the other way, but it kind of is what it is. They still had a chance to win after that play. And Shuck did look good at times. He made some really, really nice throws. But again, the one really bad interception, not good. But again, you're 5 starts in. you're going to see stuff like that. And then the fumble, whether or not he should have felt that pressure coming, just debatable. Like I mentioned earlier, we got to see Cam with a couple sacks. Got to see Chase Young do his thing. Brian Brzee, which haven't heard that name called as much as I thought we would have at this point this year. But Carl Granderson, I don't know what happened to Carl Granderson. He came out of the gate with 4.5 sacks. He was on all of the league leaders through the first few weeks, and then his ability to get home. I'm not sure what happened with Carl Granderson, but the pass rush, especially with the front four, has gotten better. So maybe you sacrifice Granderson for the sake of the I don't know. Quincy Riley, I'm pretty confident that was an interception. We didn't get the call. It is what it is. And then Kellen Moore, aside from coming in what seems like unprepared to some of these games, getting down game after game in the first quarter and in the first half. Also, some of the play calling, like the 4th and 1, I don't know. Like I just didn't see that. Didn't seem like a sure thing as he probably thought it was to get the first down and keep that drive going to try and come up with a game-winning touchdown. There are a few calls throughout the games that I'm just like, what was he thinking here? But it is what it is. The rest of the schedule, I got it here, that we're going to play this year: at Tampa, home to Carolina, home to the Jets, at Tennessee, at Atlanta. At this point, whether we win or lose, it is what it is. As long as we continue to keep bringing in, I love the fact that this is the reset year, and we keep bringing in all these young guys, seeing what they've got, putting them in, giving them opportunities to show what they've got. I love that we're doing that. So I hope they keep doing that. Keep bringing in the youth. Keep pushing on some of those levers. See what we've got. And then when we go into the draft, again, I am a big proponent of trade back. We're not one player away. I don't know of any quarterback that I've seen. Again, I'm not a huge college football guy, but I don't know of any quarterback that I've watched that has really wowed me to the point where I'm like, yeah, sacrifice it all. We got to get that number 2 pick, that number 3 pick, wherever we end up. I haven't seen anybody that I think is so outrageous that we've got to just like hit that button. To me, you trade back. We need a lot of pieces, especially with some of your, like DeMario, AK, and Cam are all getting older, although they're still performing at a high level, all getting older. You're going to need that next generation of guys to come in and kind of take on some of that load. So really hoping we see a lot more youth over the next 5 weeks. Let's see what we've got, and let's get to work in maybe what might be one of the most interesting off seasons in a long time. Who dat, everybody? We'll see you soon.